So one of our cats, Winchester, is an outdoor cat, and he's recently made a new friend. And my wife named Henry. He's a box turtle, and mostly he just wants to eat Winchester's food, but I guess that's because he's not getting bugs or whatever. And my wife was telling me I should catch bugs for him, and now suddenly I have this buddy cop movie in my head with Winchester and Henry. Winchester loves chasing bugs, and then he could chase them and catch them for Henry. He also hates Henry, so that'll probably never happen. Hey everyone, Chris Renshaw here, and if you're new to the channel, I use this space to talk about board games, card games, role-playing games, and all the other crazy geeky things that I'm into. And what I was recently in was in Indianapolis for Gen Con 2019. That's right, there's going to be a lot of videos. In fact, by the time this video goes up, one of the videos, I believe, the interview with Rob Daviau, I'll probably put a link there, has already been posted, but there's a couple others that are going to go up. And so one of the things I wanted to talk about in this video is that I had all these plans. Like I did a video where I was talking about I was going to do these things for Gen Con, and that you can see there as well. And I had ideas, and I scheduled a couple of interviews, and those interviews went great, and I used the ideas that I was going to. But I feel like I've failed as a media person with Gen Con, mainly because I guess I got a little selfish and I didn't spend every aspect of my time out doing the floor and combing for the latest trends and interviewing people and making content. Because I was like, man, I could sit here, I want to interview all these creators and promote them on my channel, use this space to do something funny and also interview people. But I just didn't get around to it. And I feel kind of bad for that. But at the same time, Gen Con's also a vacation. Like, it's a chance to get away from and just, it's board game summer camp. And sometimes that means like I can still do the press thing and look at new games and try new games. We'll talk about them on the podcast coming out soon and everything. I'm still doing press things, but it doesn't mean I have to record every aspect of my trip there. In fact, over the years, Gen Con has kind of become our local gaming group's sort of vacation we all do together. And between that and just seeing people, I just usually end up having so much fun hanging out with people and talking to people. Maybe no, I don't play as many games as I could, but I enjoy talking to people. You know, people will grab me and say they like the show, and I enjoy talking with them and hanging out with them. I had a guy that I ran a game for at another convention like 2 years ago stop and talk to me, and I just asked him what kind of things he was interested in this one. In fact, that was right before the Rob Daviau interview. And that's what it is. Like, at this point, I'm pretty much paying to go to Gen Con. This is not making enough money to afford anything. So, other than just like hosting fees. So, I guess if it ever came to the point where the channel was funding going, then yeah, I would feel like I would need to milk it for everything and make it a business trip. But as for now, I still did make content. I played several games, hung out with a lot of people, went to the Fantasy Flight in-flight to learn about stuff and tried some new things. So it's almost, I have the questions here that are almost like the questions before, but at this time I did some things, but not as much as I could have. And I feel bad for that. And I shouldn't, because I had a great time. But that little content creator piece always just wants to stick in the back of my head. I think half of this is also, I didn't take the camera out on the floor every day, mainly because I'm still working on the video equipment side of things. I'm trying some new lights in this video that we've had that I'm borrowing from somebody to see how they work. So let me know how the video quality is down below if you see a big difference. But I don't have a good way of carrying my stuff yet. So in the meantime, it means just kind of like holding it in my bag and carrying a tripod everywhere because the shoulder bag I had for it ripped. So otherwise, if you do video content, recommendations for things to carry your gear, definitely recommended in the chat or in the comments below. I guess I'll throw this over to you all. Is how much stuff are you wanting to see from conventions like this? Are you wanting to see interviews from every single booth person out there? Are you wanting it filtered some, things that you might not see from bigger channels and the little guy per se? Or are you just wanting some like unique things of things that just I found interesting? These are all the questions I want to know to help me when I'm doing future conventions and things like that. So let me know again in the comments what you think about all these. And this is another one of those just kind of rambling videos where ultimately I just want to say some things and get some ideas out there. Just some things that you can look forward to. Like I said, by the time this posts up, the Rob Daviau interview about Restoration Games should be up. I've also got a interview with Funko that I did about their new Funkoverse game. Also talked with Direwolf about their digital board games and Clank Legacy. So that's coming up. And I also talked with Raymond over at Parallel Games about City of the Big Shoulders, which that was exciting because that was actually someone who reached out to me personally. And it wasn't like a, hey, here's a mass market email that they just subbed in Chris Renshaw. This was a, hey, I like boards and swords, and I know you're not as much into this game, but Colin and Cindy probably are. So that was always really cool and neat to see. So those are all things. Also, there's going to be a haul video coming out. I think as soon as I hit stop, I'm going to record that next. So let me know what kinds of things you're going to see. Also, keep in mind that there is going to be a podcast live where we talk about this. By the time this airs, it may have already happened, in which case we'll throw the link up there. Oh, prizes. Before I sign off from this random blabbering nonsense of a video, it's time for a giveaway. That's right. We've been saying dice giveaways here, so it's time. I don't have the dice physically because it's still boxed up in some of the Gen Con stuff. But for this video, we are looking back at the video where I talked about my friends not liking my board games and the Ultimate Backstory Guide. And the winner off of that video was Zach D. So Zach D, make sure you email me, chris@boardsandswords.com with your email address, and I can get those dice sent out to you. And remember, if you comment down on this video, then you have a chance to be entered to win a future set of dice. So in the meantime, make sure you follow and subscribe, subscribe, all those like standard YouTube things, and keep in touch for other great videos and more Gen Con goodness to come. And in the meantime, may all your hits be crits.